Hey fellow garage golfers, Rolling here with Garage Golf, where we provide extraordinary golf info for the extraordinary golfer. Today, we're testing out the Phigolf Swing Sensor, but this time around, we're using real clubs. I'm going to be using a 7-iron and a driver. I'm going to show you side by side using the Skytrak. I had a lot of questions on how accurate this product is using it with real clubs. So we're looking forward to testing that out today. That video is coming at you right now. All right, thanks again for watching and welcome back. Here at Garage Golf, we provide information on golf products, golf equipment, golf simulators, and info on pretty much anything golf related. So if you haven't done so and you're new to our channel, please make sure to subscribe. So a couple of new things here at Garage Golf and I'm gonna try out on this video. Number one, as you see behind me, check this out. I'm using a blue screen and I'm gonna try to actually show the image of what we're doing on the actual blue screen. So that way when you see it from the front view, or from the side view, as you see here, you're gonna see the nice same clear image throughout. Now, there might be a few glitches as I'm learning this product, so bear with me a little bit. Sometimes I might disappear into the screen or whatever. I'm gonna be working on the editing of that, but I'd like your feedback on what you think of how the image will look behind me once we transpose that video onto the blue screen. So what we're doing today is we're gonna be using the Phigolf sensor in real golf clubs. Again, we're gonna be using a 7-iron. I'll be using the driver for you. So I wanna see side by side, basically, what we would see on the actual Phigolf software using only the sensor, and then also on a real club using the Skytrak. What we're gonna see, now you're gonna see the actual data from the real club, but mainly they're using the sensor on the Phigolf software, whereas on the Skytrak, we're getting actual ball data. So we're gonna be getting side-by-side data, and I'll tell you guys up front, number one, I don't expect this to be 100% accurate right away. I don't expect it to be 100% accurate at all throughout the whole process, but you're talking about a product that's $250, right? Versus a Skytrak that's about $2,000. So, but I do want to see, I've had a lot of questions on how accurate is it? How many yards is it accurate compared to say something like a Skytrak? So that's what we're going to test out today. Let's go ahead and get started with this video right away. We'll start with 5 7-iron shots. I'm going to hit them side by side with the Skytrak. I will show you at home on the screen what we're looking at as far as the data and everything involved. So I'm looking forward to starting those shots for you. Then we'll move on to the driver. And in the end, I'll answer any questions that we may have throughout the way. Let's get started. Okay, so just a couple things before we get started really quickly. Number one, I have selected the 7-iron on both the Phigolf software and on the Skytrak. I want to make sure I had those both set up the same way. Number two, make sure the sensor is in, everything's working properly. And most importantly, number three, on the Phigolf software, I had to go in there and select real club. The first time I tried this video, don't be like me, I went ahead and hit some shots and matched them up. But one of them on the Phigolf software was set as the training club, not the real club. So I was getting a major discrepancy. So I'm gonna test out now using the real club. It's on the right setting. We're gonna hit 5 shots. I'm gonna show you the flight on each one of those. I'll show you them side by side with the Skytrak. And in the end, we'll kind of talk a little bit more about what we saw there. So let's go ahead and start the shots. For the purpose of the video, I will be using a Callaway Chrome softball for every shot. Make sure we use the same exact golf ball so we get the obviously numbers that are going to match up, not switching golf balls throughout each shot. So Callaway Chrome Soft is what we'll be using for these shots. Bit of a duff on that one. So interesting to see how it read. All right, so let's go ahead and go through those shots for you really quickly. I'm gonna go over some of the data. I'll take you to the computer, kind of show you everything, and then we'll go ahead and jump right into the driver from there. So let's go ahead and hop on the computer real quick. I'll walk you through a few of those shots and what happened there. So two really different pieces of data here that we're going to be looking at all together. You're going to see the Phigolf shots on the top. You're going to see the Skytrak shots on the bottom. But one thing I want to point out to you first of all is if you look at the very bottom line down here on the Phigolf, that's actually the first shot that I took. You'll see the timestamp here, 1936.56, and then it goes up from there. So you're going to be looking at the first shot here at the very bottom for Phigolf, and then obviously the Skytrak's in order. So the interesting thing about this is that these two devices are really measuring two different things altogether, almost in direct correlation with each other as far as contradictory stats and everything we're going to be seeing, because Phigolf, the sensor, is pretty much doing almost everything club related. So you'll look at things like head speed, club path, face angle, different things that the Skytrak won't be doing, whereas the Skytrak itself is going to be measuring almost everything that has to do with the ball and the cameras that it reads once you hit that ball. So I wanted to go into that with you briefly. First thing I want to show you is obviously the numbers. So let's take a look at our first shot with the Phigolf, and again it's going to be identical to our first shot here with the Skytrak because it read them both at the same time. Now you're going to see varying data though between the two. So first thing we're going to see is shot distance, 122.6 yards versus total distance of 152 yards here with the Skytrak. So I'm assuming that this is the total distance, obviously shot distance on the Phigolf, and we're looking at total distance on the Skytrak. So I mean that's already 30 yards difference between the two. That's our first shot that you saw back on video. We're going to look at our second shot, and we're looking at a total distance of 149. Now here, the Phigolf was actually about 12, 13 yards higher than the actual Skytrak. So that's complete opposite of the first shot that we saw. We're going to look at things like head speed though, and this is what we're going to look at. This is basically their equivalent of club speed essentially, so 85.7 miles per hour. And again, remember with the Skytrak, it is not measured, it is calculated based upon the ball data that we get. So we're seeing 15 miles per hour faster with the actual Phigolf versus what we see with the Skytrak. Whereas on the first shot it was 67.5 versus 72 with the Skytrak. So this is why we're seeing numbers that will either be higher or lower in correlation to each other. And again, these are all 7-iron shots. Let's take a look at the third shot. Shot distance on the Phigolf 151.6 and on the Skytrak 146. So this is probably one of the closest ones that we've seen so far. And again, club head speed, we're looking at this case 65 versus 80. So that's 15 miles per hour difference between the two. Fourth shot 139.7, and on actual Skytrak we're seeing 148. So closer, we're getting closer numbers there. 74.8 miles per hour, 71 with the actual Skytrak. So again, now we're getting a little bit closer. So we're seeing some numbers that are getting closer, which is good. So as far as how it's going to determine how far off it is, we don't really quite know that based upon the data that we're doing. But we are seeing some shots that are pretty close between the two. Lastly, if we look at the fifth and final shot, 140.9 versus 139. So almost identical in regards to total distance, which is good. And then also with club head speed, Skytrak has it at 70 and the Phigolf has it at 75.2. So again, we're seeing a pretty good correlation of different things though. Club head speed's off on a few of these shots, but overall, I mean, I'm actually liking what I'm seeing with these particular numbers because we are getting some that measure pretty close between the two. But I'm curious to see what happens with that driver. So let's go ahead and go into the driver. I want to see what kind of data we get from that driver. I'll bring you those numbers here once we're done hitting the shots. And let's take a look at that, compare that to what we see with the 7-iron, and we'll go from there. All right, so what did you think of the data at home? Was it closer or was it further away than what you thought it might be between a device that costs $2,000 versus a device that literally costs $250? So kind of interested to see the difference between the 7-iron and the driver and what we're going to see. So let's go ahead and get started with those shots. And as you can see, there is an analysis screen. I just found it on the Phigolf software that we went over. So I'm going to do the same thing with the driver now. I'll show you shot by shot what happens here. And then I'll show you the analysis screen at the end. The only difference is it doesn't have the total averages like the Skytrak product will. But it's going to give us really good data that we can compare side by side as you saw with the 7-iron. So let's take 5 shots with the driver. We'll go over that, see if the swing speed or anything basically has any changes to what we see as far as the discrepancy on the numbers. So I'm looking forward to testing that out for you right now. Let's get started. All right, so pretty major discrepancy on that shot using a real club. Let's go ahead and hit a couple more and we'll see if that number gets a little closer as we keep going. Not a very good strike overall. Okay, so getting a little closer, but let's keep going. All right, so we have 4 driver shots down. We're gonna go ahead and hit our 5th shot, and then we'll go over the numbers again for you at home. Definitely pulled that one to the right, faded it off. Okay, so we have 5 shots down. You've seen the ball flight. But let me take you to the computer, walk you through the differences. Obviously, there's a bit more discrepancies here, but let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we're looking at. All right, now moving on to the driver shots that we had between the Phigolf and the Skytrak. Now, again, remember the bottom line that you see on the Phigolf on the upper level is going to be the very first driver shot that I took, and the first line of the Skytrak is the first driver shot that I took. Same exact shot, measured differently by the Phigolf and the Skytrak. So let's look at a couple things again. Now, here's where we're going to start seeing some major discrepancies between what we see with Phigolf versus what we see in Skytrak. And predominantly, pretty much every single time that we see this major discrepancy, it's based upon one factor and one factor only, I think, and that's the head speed that we're seeing. So the very bottom line on the upper left that you'll see is our very first driver shot that we took. We're going to see a major difference in distance. 289.7 yards with the actual Phigolf, and with our first shot with the Skytrak, only 212 yards. Now, why would there be such a major difference? Part of that, in my opinion, more than anything, is where they measure the actual club head speed. So if you look, the very first line of the Skytrak on the bottom, the number that you see second to the very end is club head speed. So you're going to see 86 miles per hour with the Skytrak. Now again, I understand that this is not measured, this is calculated based upon ball data only, but I do find the Skytrak to be very accurate for the most part. So I'm going to use that as my baseline more than the Phigolf, I would say, because I've had more experience with it. 86 miles per hour with the Skytrak versus 106.3 with the Phigolf. That's basically club head speed. So I know for a fact I've never probably gotten in that 106 range. I wish that I had. Obviously, believe me, I do. But unfortunately, my club head speed is not that high, and that 86 is probably closer to where I would actually be. And unfortunately as well, the 212 for that particular shot is probably where I would be as well. My driver shot's been really struggling recently, but we're not here to judge my swing, we're here to look at the data. So just something to keep in mind. I know my swing, I know what I've been seeing. I'm going to go closer with that Skytrak number than what I would see with the Phigolf, obviously. Second shot that we took, 245.2 yards total distance with the Phigolf versus a total of 212 yards with the Skytrak. So again, 30 plus yards difference between the two. Looking at the third shot, 268.6 with the Phigolf, only 207 with the Skytrak. So we're looking at 50, 60 yards differences with these drivers that we're seeing between the two. And that's a major discrepancy between what we see on Skytrak versus what we see on Phigolf. Again, some of this is entertainment factor with Phigolf versus Skytrak, but I would love to see these numbers be closer than what I'm seeing here based upon the difference. Now, 4-shot, 275.5. Skytrak had me at 219. 101.5 for head speed on that shot versus Skytrak at 86, I believe, on that one. So again, major differences in club head speed. Very last shot, 255.1 total distance, 94.6 head speed. That's with Phigolf. And then with the Skytrak, only 217 and 90 with the actual Skytrak. So again, very, very different sets of numbers between the two. I'm not going to go out and say one's right and one's wrong, other than I know my shot and I know what I've been seeing, not only with Skytrak, but on Unicore, QED, and IXO. I know my numbers are probably closer to that Skytrak. I'd love to see them closer to the Phigolf numbers, but again, my club head speed is nowhere near that. So that's where we're seeing a major difference with this driver shot. I would say the smoother the swing, the slower the swing, the more accurate Phigolf is going to be, closer in relation to Skytrak. But the faster you try to swing that club with something like a driver, that's where we're going to see discrepancies. And again, take it for what it is. It's not a product that's supposed to be 100% accurate, I would say. A lot of this is for entertainment factor, but it does hold some weight, in regards to you wanting to see what your swing is doing too. So something we got to keep in mind, but definitely interesting data that I wanted to show you. And definitely wanted to get your feedback on it as well. You've seen my swings on video. I'd like to see what your thoughts are with all this data and everything that we're looking at. I'd like to see Phigolf with a little bit better way to do things like averages or different things of that nature. I do like that they're able to have the numbers that you actually hit. You can go back and reference them. I didn't know it up front that you can do that. So that's something new that I learned today with this video. But I would like to be able to see it broken down by club or averages per club as well. So just something I want to share with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the numbers for both the driver and the 7-iron. Get with me with any questions you have on it. I'd be happy to tell you my experiences with it. But I definitely wanted to show it to you because I thought it was quite interesting between the two. Okay, so obviously the Phigolf sensor isn't 100% accurate compared to something like a Skytrak. We kind of knew that going into it though, obviously, right? And I kind of prepared you that it may not be. And again, we're comparing something that's $250 roughly versus something that costs 8 times as much at $2,000. So, but for what it is and what it's worth, I think the Phigolf sensor and the Phigolf swing stick are 100% worth its money. I've done some other videos. If you haven't checked them out, you can click on them. I will put a link up here for you, I think, up here. And you can check them out. Number one, I did an unboxing video, show you kind of how to set everything up. And the other one, I've done some testing and some analysis on the Phigolf software altogether. So take a look at those if you haven't checked them out. And again, altogether, I think it's a really, really good product. And yes, there's some major discrepancies on things like driver shots. We saw a pretty big difference. Of course, I'd love to have the Phigolf numbers, but I'm not there with my shot right now and I haven't been practicing enough. Those of you who watch my channel on a regular basis know I've been struggling a bit with my driver, especially with distance. So I think the Skytrak is right on point with what I should be expecting right now. And when my shot's in tune, I can see shots closer to 250, 260 range, but right now I'm just not hitting it very well. And I'm just being honest with you at home. But altogether, again, I wanted to test this for you just so I can show you the accuracy of the product in general, give you an idea as far as what to expect with something like this. And again, the Swing Trainer is pretty cool. For those of you who don't have a dedicated golf simulator set up, this is a really cool product. Check out the video again so you can see a little bit more about it. Also, want to give you guys a heads up. I will be doing a giveaway for a Phigolf system. I am going to get one that I'm going to be able to give out to our viewers. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That'll be coming up pretty quickly for you guys. I look forward to having that video out to you really shortly. All you'll have to do is subscribe, and I'll get you some input as far as what you need to do to be entered into the competition. So if you liked our video here today, please give us a big thumbs up. We greatly appreciate that. And if you have not yet done so, again, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell notification at home so you get alerted of any videos like the one that we did here today. What do you guys think of our golf simulator setup? Do you like something like that, or would you like something like that potentially at home? Make sure to check out our landing page at rainorShineGolf.com/garage golf. Also join our Facebook group. That's where we chat with you at home. You can we can basically answer any questions that you guys have. And this is where we communicate with everyone who follows our channel. And that's where you can communicate with other like-minded simulator golfers, people like that at home that have similar interests to you. So again, we really hope you enjoyed this video. We had a good time doing this video for you. I'm going to be bringing you some more stuff. I'm going to bring you some stuff on the Unicore. I have got my QED back. It was struck by lightning, or my house was struck by lightning. Not necessarily directly on my house, but somewhere where it caused a surge and I lost my QED. So luckily, thank God, it was under warranty. So I'm looking forward to doing a video on that with the QED versus the IXO. We've been watching some of our videos on that as well. So let us know what you'd like to see. I'd love to bring it to you. As always, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And until the next time we see you, keep on golfing. Also, real quick, before I let you guys go, I want to know, what did you think of the screen setup behind me with the blue screen? Did you like it better than me just projecting the image onto it? Was there any nuances or quirks that you saw with it that I need to work on or try to fix? So let me know. I'd like to get your input on that blue screen. And if it's a better, nicer, clearer image for you at home, let me know. I'd love to keep doing that for you if it's something that you like. Thanks again.